Hi, my name is EJ Massa. So this episode leaked a few days before it aired, and I could have watched it, gotten a head start on writing my review, but it was released in 360p, so my video quality snobbery won out over my intense desire to consume all things Game of Thrones. So I learned that about myself. And I'm glad I waited because this episode deserves to be watched in glorious HD. Jaime's carrying some sweet gold back to King's Landing. Bronn's getting paid, but he notices that this show has been emptying out castles like nobody's business. Dorne's house is empty, Tyrell's High Garden's empty, and the Baratheons are gone, so their house is probably open. The Lannisters are making a lot of inventory in the Westeros housing market. Prices are down, give me a castle. Cersei's talking about how awesome she is at paying back gold. Cersei wants to hire the Golden Company. Tycho just wants his gold. Will you help me out, Tycho? Not until I have my gold. Gold coming right up. So much gold. Tycho is gold horny.
I love gold.
Littlefinger gives the dagger from Season 1 to Bran. Hello, Bran. Do you remember Season 1? Well, I do remember Season 3, though, because chaos is a ladder. Pause for 1 second. Just pause. As soon as you heard this, Littlefinger, the moment you heard this, you should just fucking leave. Littlefinger doesn't have much to do right now. He's supposed to be the character who's the smartest person in the room, but something feels very dumb about him this season. But personally, I don't think he's long for this world. It's a game of Clue. Let's see. I'll say Arya with the dagger at Winterfell. It's only a matter of time before Bran cares enough to tell Arya and Sansa about Littlefinger betraying Ned. That is, if he cares about telling them, because who knows with his new Dr. Manhattan persona. Even though he acts like Dr. Manhattan, he now has a wheelchair like Professor X. Wow, now he's blander than either of those comic book characters. I think Bran's personality change is supremely disappointing. They can use his detachment from reality as a plot device to selectively dole out information. When Bran started out, he was a boy hoping to become a knight, but his curiosity led to his crippling. But it was also his curiosity that led him to powers beyond his body and help him surpass his physical limitations. And when achieving it, he suddenly becomes a detached, limitless being. I wish there was more of the adventurous, curious, and determined Bran left behind. Bran negs Mira so hard she decides to leave the show. Arya moseys up to Winterfell, and after wasting her time with some bumbling guards, you get the dramatic reunion of two characters who've been separated since Season 1. They immediately catch up. Sansa's like, I had an absolutely terrible Season 5 storyline. My Season 5 wasn't great, but my Season 6 was even worse. Man, 3 Starks back at Winterfell? I never thought I'd see the day. It's hard for me not to get a little emotional. And it's not because I've been drinking for hours. However, I have been drinking for hours. I think the scene with Arya and Sansa is really good. I mean, there's still, there's warmth between them, but there's still a lot of tension because, they didn't part on the greatest ways. They didn't have the best relationship in the first season, and they are the two characters that had the most interaction in the first season. Like the reunion with Jon and Sansa, they never even shared a scene together, but Arya and Sansa, they spent a whole lot of time together bickering. So it's interesting to see them after they've gone through so much and seeing how they interact together. And we'll see where that goes. Arya visits Bran, who's become a walking spoiler section, rolling spoiler section. He gives the dagger to Arya. Can you please close up this plot hole? I don't want anything to do with it. Brienne is thanked for keeping her vow to Catelyn. It's kind of like when I get praised for a project at work that I had nothing to do with. Maybe Brienne spends most of her time on Reddit as well. Everything falls into place. Excuse me. Hello? Oh. Thank you. I've been fired. Jon and Dany do some magical spelunking. Come on, Jon. You're always taking these girls on cave dates. Seems to be working, though. I can't wait for this guy to start fucking his aunt. Wait, what? As they explore, something that sounds like Jurassic Park music starts playing. But instead of a spectacular dinosaur reveal, we're shown a big rock. It's a big rock. Luckily, there's some cave paintings that conveniently support Jon's argument to help fight the White Walkers. But Dany still wants that knee bent. Bend that knee, baby. You know you want it. Swallow your pride and bend that knee. Tyrion breaks the news to Dany that although he's been touted as this great strategist, he's been failing at strategy for the past 2 seasons. Dany's like, fuck clever shit. I'm just gonna burn everything. She desperately asks Jon for advice. The guy who wants magic rocks to destroy ice people. And he says people don't want a monster who burns castles. But I can burn other stuff, right? Yeah, well, I guess so. Sweet, see ya. Bran and Pod have been practicing in the art for what feels like months given all the presumed time hopping. Pod has not gotten any better. You should give up, Pod.
Your talents lie elsewhere. In your pants.
Arya trains with Brienne, and I love seeing Arya as the full realization of what Syrio Forel started. She's finally developed into the water dancer he trained her to be, from chasing cats to sparring with Brienne. Now that's quite a journey. Jon and Davos have some lady talk. I think Dany has a good heart. You're right, she does have fantastic tits. Missandei talks about how there's no marriage where she comes from. Just everyone is doing everyone. There's no shame, no judgment. Everyone is always boning in a big, writhing pile of pleasure. Do you think I could switch sides? Theon returns and Jon is like, the only reason I'm not killing you right now because there'd be one less season 1 character to relate to.
Fewer.
Randall Tarley suggests they should flog stragglers so they'd go faster.
That worked wonders on Sam. He's like Sonic the Hedgehog now, right? Right?
Anyways, Dickon shows up. Yeah, I know, Bronn. Anyways, Dickon shows up. So I hear you're played by a different actor and nobody cares.
Men shit themselves when they die.
It's so good to have Bronn back. It's so good. They suddenly hear some racist Native American whooping.
Oh, shit. Dragons.
Yeah, burning people and horsey stomping, badass. Awesome to see the Dothraki in full-on battle, and Dany using her dragon as a weapon of mass destruction. Bronn needs to get to the big crossbow and shoot the arrow. It's what he does, he shoots important arrows. Oh no, me gold! And he basically does his version of Jon's tracking shot from the Battle of the Bastards, except he walks toward the camera and Jon walks away. I'm sure there's some sort of symbolism there. Maybe it's a commentary on Bronn's vanity. Tyrion hitched a ride over apparently, and he's watching all his countrymen get torched like they're in the nuclear dream sequence from Terminator 2. That's one very effective way to give some humanity to faceless soldiers. I wonder if Ed Sheeran is in there somewhere. That'll make some internet people happy, I think.
Personally, I don't know the man. People wanted me to hate on him in my review. I don't know. Seems like a nice boy to me.
But maybe he's dead now. Bronn manages to shoot Drogon in the shoulder. Don't worry, Drogon. In the movies, that's a safe spot to get shot in, so you'll definitely live.
It doesn't work in real life, though. Don't ask how I know.
Drogon's like, fuck big crossbows. Hopefully Qyburn made more of those. Jaime picks up a spear and tries to go and kill Drogon. This moment, like, if you described it to me in just words, I would have said it sounds big and dumb. Jaime picks up a spear and tries to joust the big dragon. But it was pulled off so well with the build-up, the pacing, the imagery, and the personal connection with Tyrion. So good. Anyways, he gets pushed into the water by, let's say Bronn, and then he sinks to the bottom and drowns. He's totally dead, guys. Yeah, probably not.
This was probably my favorite battle of the series, maybe tied with Hardhome. For one, it was like a realistic situation. You have a caravan transporting goods, and another side ambushing them like a great train robbery.
You had empathetic characters on both sides, and some real stakes. Battle of the Bastards was good, but Ramsay, for me personally, was just way too much of a cartoon villain. And the Vale soldiers, being a deus ex machina, cheapened it a bit. This was just a brutal attack on a caravan, and the stakes were high. The Dothraki soldiers were awesome to see in battle, and it's a delight to see Bronn be his scrappy self again. A little bit of an anticlimactic end for the Scorpion, but at least it added a little tension.
This battle had utility and emotional stakes.
One minor complaint would be that nobody important died, but it's tempered a bit by Tyrion lamenting his own kinsman dying. And the battle was backed up by some awesome imagery and cinematography.
It's gonna be hard for any other battle to hit all those emotional high points for me, especially because if we're facing like nameless White Walkers in the future, I don't know if that's gonna do it for me. But I'm open to be surprised, and this episode and this battle were quite a surprise. In the previous episode, Olenna and Jaime are talking, and Jaime says to Olenna, hey, if good things happen from Cersei's rule, who cares how we get there? And I may have had a few issues of how we got here, but damn is this episode something to cheer. This may go down as one of my top 10 Game of Thrones episodes. Maybe I'll make a list of my favorite episodes someday. No, excuse me. I'm gonna rewatch the episode and pump my fist in the air. Woo, 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 woo. Bye.